Hello class, welcome to the CS4201 KinectWorkshop2. In this class we have this number of objectives. First, we will teach you how to create a WPF project in a Microsoft Visual Studio using C# and the reference to Kinect library in the project and in the code. Then we'll teach you how to use the GUI editor to create a visual interface. Inside of that, we'll teach you how to add different GUI components and how to modify their properties, and how to create stub code for event calls from those GUI components. Okay. Here are some of the, and also we'll teach you some of the Visual Studio programming tricks, such as how to create event handlers code using auto-completion, how to change the name of project and namespace using refactors method, how to look for definitions in a piece of code, etc. And then we will kind of go through the skeleton viewer's code piece by piece and then tell you what each piece means. Then we will teach you how to program a simple static gesture plus a simple dynamic gesture, which is the wave. Okay, so before we start, we have to have a number of things ready. You should have your Kinect Visual C# installed. The Kinect SDK from Microsoft, as well as the Visual C# Express software installed. And then I will ask you to open the skeletal viewer program in the background. Okay, so now let's start to start a new C# program. So here we go. We start another Visual C# program, and we create a new project by clicking on New Project in the File menu, and then we double click on the WPF application. Okay, so once that's done, you can see that the Visual C# program is configured into these configurations. You have basically 4 windows. Okay. Sub windows inside of this main working area. On the top right, you have the Solution Explorer, which tell you all the files and resources that you have for this project. On the bottom, you basically see the Properties panel, which will show you the properties of the different GUI elements if you point to them. And on the top left, basically, this is a graphical UI designers. Okay, this is triggered by basically click on the XAML file. So here is the main window file. Whenever you double click on that, it will go to this window. And the source code of this GUI of this application is by clicking on the .cs file, which is C# file. And if you double click on that, it will show the source code. Okay. So now let's go back to the GUI window again, and then we can see that it has 2 panels. On the top, which is the kind of the GUI builder, and on the bottom, you see here is the kind of the corresponding XAML code that matches the GUI builder. Okay, so before we actually build anything, let's first set the project to be the class project. Okay, so you can see that under the solution here, the C#, the name is actually WPF application 1. So we actually didn't want that. So we can rename it by change it to let's say gesture workshop assignment. Okay, so once we change that, it changed the code right here. But the solution here, we can also rename it. Right? The solution here, we can also call it the gesture workshop assignment. Okay. So now the solution is also changed. Now we go back to the C# code. In the C# code, we also want to change the namespace here, because it's also say WPF application 1. So you can change it directly. For example, you can change it directly to gesture workshop assignment. But as soon as you did that, you can find out that there's a certain piece of code which is highlighted in red. This means that the program cannot find certain components, or it has a kind of a bug detected. So what this means is that actually if you change this manually, there are certain other places which also use this namespace has not been changed. So there's some inconsistency in the code. So a better way to do this is to actually use the refactor method. So let's change it back to the original name. Okay. Now once you change it back, you can see that this the red line disappears, which means the code is actually is consistent right now. But if we want to change the name, we can just right-click on that and click on the refactor in the menu. Refactor means that we actually going through the code and looking for the corresponding components and trying to change them all together. Okay, so what we can do is that we can use rename in the refactor method, and then it tells you what name you want to change it to. So here we'll change the name to gesture workshop assignment. Okay, then when you click on OK here, it will tell me that all the different places that this in the application that need to be changed. Right? So I'm not going to go through it one by one. All we have to do is just say apply. Then it will change everything underneath. It will ask me, you're updating all the namespace and everything. Do you want to proceed? We'll say yes. Okay, so now everything has been changed to this proper name. Okay, so once we change the name of the project, another thing I want to do is that because this is a Kinect project, we wanted to actually add the Microsoft Research Kinect reference library to this reference files. Okay, so what we can do is that we can actually go to reference, and then we say add reference. Okay, and then we will go to we'll browse for the Kinect reference file, which is actually in the program files in the C directory if you install that in your Windows directory, and it's in the Microsoft Research Kinect SDK. If you open that folder, it's actually the Microsoft Research.Kinect.dll file, which actually contains all the library files that you wanted to use. So let's click on that and click OK. And you can see that this package of library has been added into this file. So if you want to look at what this reference file is actually located in the disk, you can actually double click on the reference file, and then you can see that from here you can see it's highlighted in this object browser window, and then underneath here tell you where it is located on your hard disk. So sometimes if you have existing library, existing solutions, and then some libraries already installed, you want to know where it is, you can actually look through here to find where the file is, and then you can add it. And then in the object browser, you can actually open the Kinect reference library. You can see the different methods that it is actually supporting. So this gives you a way to looking at the APIs and how to use this method in the future. So we're not going to look at this anymore. So let's close this one. Okay. So now we add the reference library, but in order to be able to use the Kinect library in the code, we need to actually use this using, and then we have to reference this library in the code. So it's Microsoft Research Kinect, and then it's the NUI. We don't really care about audio, so we will reference this package in this piece of code. Okay, so later on you can use all the subclasses defined in this library in the code. Okay, so this sets the programming environment for this project. Now let's go back to the XAML file. Okay, so basically we want to build the graphical user interface as the same as the skeleton viewer. So let's look at the skeleton viewer again. So this is the skeleton viewer, and you can see that the graphical user interface consists of these different components. Okay, so these different components